I'm going to move now from the enable layer to the manage layer and tackle some of those decisions. And the first decision here is, who's going to do this work? There's a lot of work in managing mobile fleet. Policies need to be maintained and changed. Security is changing all the time, and enrolling devices and unenrolling, dealing with breaches is a lot of work. So support, managing spend, dealing with blowouts, and governing that environment is a lot. As Charles said before, mobile skills are precious and rare, and the question you've got to ask is this what you want your staff to be doing? Or do you want them, do you want them on that efficiency axis, managing your BAU, or do you want them on the effectiveness axis, doing the mobile innovation? It's a decision every organization will need to make. And either invest in that team and say, this is core, we need to do this, or outsource it to a specialist who can free up your people to do what you want them to do. The second decision related to that is the platform, the Enterprise Mobility Management Platform. How many of you here deployed an MDM platform or two over the last 2 or 3 years? How many of you deployed 3 integration points from that MDM tool to your internal systems? And by that I mean integration to AD, integration to Exchange, integration to SharePoint, integration through a secure browser to your intranet. 2 integration points? 1? So what you've just validated is an observation we've made in the marketplace that the first generation of mobile security was really tactical deployments of MDM with very little integration to the back end. Very little. And MDM often came as an add-on to something else. It was a feature in someone's security suite, or it came as part of a plan, a data plan or something like that. The market is now moving very quickly, as Charles indicated, and we're moving into what we consider to be second generation. And second generation is much more holistic. And we see it as being a combination of device management, which does all the standard stuff you know and understand around devices. In addition, it does the app management. So some of your horizontal apps may need to be in a secure encrypted container, but also you may want to wrap some of your role-specific apps in an additional layer of security to govern where you can store information, how apps communicate between each other, and what the app can and can't do. Going a step further, you may want to do some DLP on your mobile devices and make sure that specific documents are stored in specific ways so that you don't lose control of collaborated information. And finally, identity and access management is becoming increasingly important. Managing our certificates, managing our tokens, managing our two-factor, and in some cases having a micro VPN or a per-app VPN connecting security to our backend systems. And then, when you get really mature, having single sign-on. And today, the reality is many people are fumbling with changing passwords on the mobile and on the tablet and on the laptop because we don't have the integration points, and setting up new people is manual. This becomes much easier when we get to second generation. And the observation I'm making in the market is large organizations are doing this, and the effort they're putting into vendor selection, into design, build, testing, and integration is 5 to 10 times greater than the first generation tactical deployments of MDM. Second time around, it's being done well with the appropriate governance wrapped around. I'd like to introduce a concept called the tiered trust model. Some of you will recognize this building, the Pentagon. And the Pentagon is quite interesting in that it's got 5 rings with a security checkpoint in between each. So if you think about your organization like this, you can start to think about users and their devices and their access and their apps in categories of trust. No trust to high trust. Let me give you 2 examples. No trust might be a BYOD user who brings in a device that you fundamentally don't trust, and because you don't need to. The connection, you assume it's an open Wi-Fi connection. But the person's not dealing with any sensitive information. They're doing job sheets or roster management or leave requests and stuff like that. So you can say, no trust category, we don't need to spend money on security. We can take a really pragmatic, feet on the ground approach. The other extreme, we need to manage the hardware. We need a secure container for our apps. We maybe need to wrap our vertical apps. We do need a micro VPN. We need to manage the identity and multi-factor authentication and federated identity management. And it's a high secure environment. And we'll spend money on that, and we'll do good design on that. And in between, we might have different levels. And the reason we think this model is so important is because as soon as we over-invest and over-secure someone's mobile device, they're motivated to find ways around. And you've all seen it. You've all seen people bypass your security model, your security protocol. So the best advice we can give you here is do enough, define clearly what you need to protect, and put in place the security to protect what needs to be protected, but stop there. Because if you go one step too far, you're now encouraging people to use Gmail and Dropbox and all sorts of things that are worse than not having any security.